Jay-Z is Diddy's handler, and he's currently hiding. I have evidence, and if I give it to the FBI, Jay-Z will be arrested immediately. Jay-Z brings young boys to Diddy for sacrifice. All the evidence is present, and now he is hiding.
I wasn't in the ad because of Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy.
When is the Diddy documentary supposed to hit?
I can't give you a date, but it's in production now.
What is it with all of these pretenders? And now they got an even bigger one named Curtis Jackson. He's trying to move Diddy and Jay-Z out the way so he can run it.
Jay-Z is scrambling behind the scenes, doing everything in his power to avoid getting dragged straight into Diddy's exploding criminal investigation, now that Netflix just confirmed they're dropping 50 Cent's long-awaited documentary next week, the one that allegedly exposes everyone who ever stood beside Diddy. And according to insiders, Jay-Z isn't just mentioned, he's featured, with what sources claim is actual video evidence tying him to moments he never thought would see daylight. But that's not even the wildest part, because at the exact same time this news hit, leaked footage of Diddy from inside federal prison suddenly surfaced online, and people are saying the timing is way too perfect to be a coincidence.
50 Cent has revealed the release date for his Diddy documentary. Sean Combs' The Reckoning is hitting Netflix on December 2nd. 50 Cent captioned it, "They said I was capping. What happened?" And it's been so long at this point, I thought maybe he was really just joking and this documentary wasn't happening, but obviously I was wrong. Because this is actually official. Not only is 50 Cent just posting this, so he's not trolling, it's being confirmed by multiple media outlets. And I have a feeling right now Diddy is sweating about what 50 Cent is about to put in this documentary. You know, 50 Cent's connection when it came to the Diddy trial. Not only that, we cannot forget during this Diddy trial, it was alleged that Diddy wanted to off 50 Cent. 50 Cent stays trolling Diddy, so I am afraid that he is probably about to drag Diddy for filth in this documentary. It's about to be so bad. This is going to be a documentary that I'm going to watch just because I want to see how 50 Cent actually puts together this documentary.
Right after Diddy was taken down in that shocking September 2024 arrest, 50 Cent wasted no time. He jumped online and dropped the bombshell. He was teaming up with Netflix to release a documentary exposing crimes so dark, so deeply buried, that even the feds had never uncovered them.
You have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
I know
he did it. You've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy.
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated.
And the craziest part? The evidence wasn't new, it was 20 years in the making. Allegedly, 50 had been quietly collecting receipts on Diddy for decades, watching everyone who moved around him, studying every connection, every secret meeting, every late-night call. He knew exactly who Diddy was involved with, and, according to insiders, he was finally ready to expose the mastermind behind it all.
Speaking of, in particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Did He Do It?
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations, I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else, but I did feel uncomfortable with the way you would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it, just that alone.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff was coming. Like, when I seen today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them, and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years, it makes me feel a little hard.
What are your thoughts on the allegations against Jay-Z?
That was interesting. When I was saying things not knowing exactly what I was saying, but I was going, where's Jay at? He's mad quiet, like while the Puffy thing was going on. But it's obvious now that his team was being made aware that he was in those allegations also. So I hope it works out, because with his family, the things that go on internally is that those accusations are crazy.
50 is already warning everyone that his docuseries isn't about the petty gossip or the trending headlines. He's going straight for the blueprint of how Diddy's alleged criminal empire actually operated behind closed doors. According to insiders, this series digs into the structure, the players, the money trails, and the secrets that kept everything running for years. And here's the part that has the industry shaking. Allegedly, the evidence uncovered in this docuseries is the very reason a brand new federal criminal investigation into Diddy was launched in the first place.
Combs now facing new allegations, this time from a man in Florida. According to ABC News, investigators in LA received a report from a police department in Florida where the alleged victim lives, and now they are working on the case. Eyewitness News anchor Mike Marza in the newsroom with the very latest details. Mike.
Well, David, here's what we know. The new allegations of sexual assault against Sean Diddy Combs come from a music producer who went to police in Florida, but the alleged crimes happened in Los Angeles. Jonathan Hay is his name. That's the person who filed the complaint, and he's one of the John Does that filed a civil lawsuit against Combs in July. The first alleged incident was in September of 2020 in LA. Hay alleging that Combs performed sex acts in front of him and asked for oral sex. In a second incident, in 2021, Hay claims that C.J. Wallace, the son of the rapper Notorious B.I.G., took him to a location where two men put something over his head, he says, before Combs forced himself on Hay several times. Combs is currently serving out a sentence in Fort Dix, New Jersey, following his conviction earlier this year on 2 prostitution-related charges. Combs' representatives have not yet responded to this lawsuit. David?
Thank you, Mike.
These new allegations are just one out of more than 100 civil cases stacked against Diddy right now. And the terrifying part for the industry? It only takes one criminal investigation, just one, to pull both Diddy and Jay-Z straight into a situation that could cost them the rest of their lives behind bars. Jay isn't some distant acquaintance. He's Diddy's oldest, closest friend. And according to Diddy himself, Jay-Z is the only man alive who knows every single one of his secrets. So the real question everyone's whispering is this: with over 100 witnesses lining up to take Diddy down, what are the chances that at least one of them is ready to expose Jay-Z too?
There's a lot of negative stuff around Jay-Z right now, which is clearly damaging to him.
Yeah, and I think there's like a famous quote from someone who was acquitted, and he said, all right, where do I go to get my reputation back?
Right.
I mean, social media was a light. Beyonce's next, Jay-Z's next, all the people in the inner circle is next.
Yeah, and the problem is there are just so many pictures of the two of them partying together, and he clearly was at a lot of Diddy parties.
How powerful was Jay-Z when you were doing business with him? Was he already a power player where if he wanted to ruin someone's life or make somebody a star, he could do it?
I met Jay-Z and I signed to Rock Nation. I didn't want to drip myself in blood and cover myself in swimming goop, in black goop, and fucking like wear devil horns to fucking sell a record. Fuck that. Or be a witch, or be that, all of that. Fuck all of that.
King Academics jumped on the announcement the second Netflix confirmed the drop, and he didn't hold back. He said 50 Cent is sitting on mountains of evidence, years of receipts, files, recordings, enough to bury Diddy and every single one of his accomplices. But here's what everyone seems to be forgetting. Diddy wasn't just arrested, he was arrested on RICO charges. And even though he was officially found guilty of transporting adult workers, somehow not a single other person in his network was convicted. Not one. How does that even make sense? How can a RICO case have only one fall guy?
50, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I thought he was trolling, because I do think 50 is a guy to kick you when you're down, and Diddy did seem like he was down for a long time. Pause. And I thought 50 was just trying to kick his back in. It was clear that 50 wanted him to go to jail for a lengthy time, maybe for the rest of his life. And I've said personally, I really think that 50 wanted him to go to jail because he was fucking his baby moms. You get what I'm saying? And that's what that is. However, it looks like 50 wasn't playing around when he had announced from back in the day that, he was going to create at that time he called it the Diddy Do It doc. And he said he was going to do it, and, all pun intended, he said he was going to do the doc and put it out with Netflix and it appears that he wasn't capping. Netflix has actually put out a press release. Variety and other outlets picked it up, and they have announced that there is a release date, December 2nd, which is the Netflix documentary series from the executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and it is called Sean Combs: The Reckoning. It's going to only be on Netflix, and yes, 50 is the executive producer. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a huge power move by 50. Now, you know, I love 50, so we're not going to get into certain stuff, but 50 doesn't have the cleanest history. Sometimes I feel like when they go for these type of docs, the Surviving R. Kelly's, they go for the most woke person to present the doc because you kind of need somebody to soapbox. With all due respect, I'm not saying 50 had freak-offs and shit like that, but 50 is 50 Cent, bro. You know what I mean? It's like 50 Cent isn't the most model human being. Not saying he's been accused or he does stuff that Diddy does, but 50 is 50.
He would just be another kind of monster in another kind of way.
What we do know, at least according to the countless rumors flying around the industry, is that an unnamed elite insider was allegedly caught on Diddy's infamous freak-off tapes, yet somehow never faced a single charge. And now, as more leaks and whispers pile up against Diddy, people online are starting to draw their own conclusions about who that mystery figure might have been. The speculation is getting louder, and the name that keeps popping up in these conversations is Jay-Z. Nothing confirmed, nothing proven, just the kind of industry chatter that refuses to die. And on top of all that, new reports claim Diddy is suddenly acting very cooperative, with investigators allegedly ready to talk, to give names, to point fingers at whoever the feds decide to look at next. If that's true, then the question becomes, who is he willing to throw under the bus to save himself?
I wasn't in the ad because of look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. Mm-hmm. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
Diddy always been the type of individual that want to have ups on the next person no matter what they was doing. He did the stuff to Ja Rule so he could go after Jay-Z. They not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. Until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. Hey, buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. 250 cameras all over the house? Somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. When you that powerful, you didn't get that powerful without having 1 or 2 or maybe 3 ups on somebody.
So now we have 2 people come out saying that Diddy was talking to the feds. Do you think that's true?
Whether it's true or not, and he might have been cooperative in some way, shape, or form, you don't get away with human trafficking unless you give up John Gotti or something like that, and that's not what happened here. I can tell you, Jesse, that this investigation's been going on for a long time, very closely held by HSI, so much so that even some of the agents on the raid a week ago today didn't know whose house they were raiding until they got there. That's how closely held this investigation.
Wow, because there could have been a tip.
Absolutely.
And there are allegations that he was paying law enforcement through his chief of security, which also happened to be Michael Jackson's chief of security.
I don't know if I buy into that. You know, people in Diddy's situation like to have those involved in law enforcement close to them. But that doesn't mean they're taking payoffs. That doesn't mean they're doing big favors. They like that closeness. It's just like how Diddy was able to court Diageo or Estee Lauder. He was very successful in doing that, and that made him a lot of money and gave him credibility outside the hip-hop rap world. And that's what he was trying to do here, a lot like what Epstein did with very powerful political and business.
According to the long-circulating industry chatter, even Gene Deal has come forward claiming he personally witnessed things that suggest Diddy might have been working as some kind of confidential informant for the feds. In his words, Diddy's confidence never came from raw power, it allegedly came from protection. The rumor has always been that Diddy wasn't untouchable because of his status. He was untouchable because he was useful. As long as he kept feeding the government the intel they wanted, the feds supposedly had no reason to touch him. But now the whispers are getting even louder, with some claiming the tables have finally turned and that investigators may be using Diddy's cooperation to look deeper into the one person who's been closest to him for decades, Jay-Z.
That's a confidential informant. They'll let you do crimes, as long as you don't do no and stuff like that. They'll let you go around and pay you to protect them. You understand? To protect him. We had a lot of people on the payroll when we was doing security. Everybody had, somebody might have this first 10 hours, that 10 hours, or whatever. He was paying law enforcement. He had a budget for law enforcement. Now, if something goes wrong, those people got friends in certain places. Then plus he tells his handler, yo, can you make this go away for me? I'll give you this and that. Now, that could be a lot of speculations or whatever like that. But why would you have or be working for an FBI agent if you're not an informant? Why? So when you got that kind of money, you could hire people to make a lot of things go away for you. Like you hire lawyers. Those lawyers have police officers and people working for them, and investigators. Those investigators were former officers. So all of them in the backyard in Diddy bed together.
And here's where things get even crazier. This whole strategy Diddy allegedly has snitching on everyone in his inner circle to save himself might actually be working. According to the latest whispers, TMZ is being cited in reports claiming that a presidential pardon is quietly being discussed behind closed doors. Yes, a pardon. If these rumors are true, it means Diddy could walk out of prison as early as December, leaving everyone else he named to deal with the fallout. It's a twist nobody saw coming. And the idea that Diddy might escape while others get dragged in is sending shockwaves through the industry.
Diddy could be a free man by the end of this week. We broke a story last night that Donald Trump is seriously considering commuting his sentence. And there has been a lot of fallout with our story.
By the way, commuting his sentence before he's even in a prison.
Right.
He's still at Brooklyn MDC waiting to find out which prison he's going to. But this is something that President Trump is considering. And the fact that he's considering it is causing a bit of an internal war at the White House, because not everybody in the administration thinks this is a good idea.
So we are told this, and this is coming from somebody high up in the White House. We broke that story, incidentally, that right after the sentencing, his legal team, Diddy's legal team, got in touch with somebody who had the president's ear, and that the president was looking at the paperwork.
And the president acknowledged that
like 2 days later.
Yeah, in the Oval Office.
2 days later.
Yeah.
So we now know that Trump is considering, we're told that he's kind of waffling, he's going back and forth on this, but there are staffers in the White House telling him, don't do it.
And 50 Cent isn't holding anything back. Sources say he's determined to see both Diddy and Jay-Z behind bars, no matter what it takes. When he supposedly caught wind of Diddy's plan to lean on a presidential pardon to slip out of prison early, insiders claim 50 was ready to personally call President Trump and make sure it never happened. But here's the twist. Apparently, he didn't even need to pick up the phone. Less than a week after the pardon rumors surfaced, Diddy was reportedly caught breaking prison rules, allegedly drinking inside the facility. And in the eyes of the authorities, that's no small slip-up. If these reports are true, it could tack an extra year onto his sentence, throwing Diddy's entire escape plan into chaos and giving 50 an unexpected win in this high-stakes game.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs facing more time behind bars. His release date pushed back to June of 2028 instead of May of that same year. The news coming after reports of Combs drinking in prison, something he denies, after he was accepted into a rehab program in prison that could have reduced his sentence by up to a year. He's also been accused of making a prohibited three-way phone call from prison. Here to make sense of it all, NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas and defense attorney and friend to Top Story, Sarah Azari. Guys, thanks so much for being here, both of you. So, Chloe, I'm going to start with you. I'm being told you spoke to Combs' rep earlier. What did you learn about this issue?
Sure. So, Combs' representative, Judah Engelmeyer, telling me by phone earlier today, Tom, that yes, a three-way call was made between one of Combs' lawyers, who did bring in another person on that call with Combs while he has been at Fort Dix, but that there was nothing improper about it. But again, that is not something that you were supposed to do at all. So those lawyers should have known better. As for drinking, he doubled down and said that Combs was not drinking and that in fact he's been admitted into this very specialized rehab program that Fort Dix offers is actually going to potentially lower his sentence.
Yeah.
He could be released earlier because of that. So they're saying he's done nothing wrong and that any reports that he has been drinking is completely not true.
Sean Diddy Combs is setting the record straight about his life behind bars, following a report that said the rap mogul, who is serving a 4-year sentence for 2 prostitution-related convictions, was caught drinking homemade alcohol in prison. His spokesperson emphatically denies the allegation, telling People magazine in a statement published November 9th, there have been several false and reckless reports circulating about Mr. Combs. He has not violated any prison rules. His sobriety and self-discipline are priorities, and he is taking them seriously. The 56-year-old was recently transferred to a low-security correctional facility in New Jersey after spending over a year at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. At the new institution, he was alleged to have created a mixture of Fanta, sugar, and apples, which ferments into alcohol after 2 weeks, TMZ reported. The spokesperson continues, this is only his first week at FCI Fort Dix, and unfortunately, rumors will surface throughout his time there. We ask the public and press to give him the benefit of the doubt, the privacy to focus on his personal growth, and the grace to move forward in peace.
Around the same time, videos of Diddy from inside prison started surfacing online, and the reactions have been wild. What's shocking? Diddy didn't look stressed, beaten down, or worried. No, he actually looked pretty happy. Really makes you stop and wonder, does this even look like the face of a man serving time in federal prison? Or is this someone who knows something the rest of the world doesn't? Someone who's playing a game far bigger than anyone realizes?
We got video of him at Fort Dix reporting for work in the library, where he is making recommendations and handing out different movies and books for his fellow inmates.
I'm really fascinated just by the library
But
itself.
you're seeing him here. This is him reporting to work, taking off his jacket, taking off his scarf, and settling in for a day on the job.
It looks like a public school library.
Yeah.
It's
this was the chapel, and this is the media library in the chapel, which is where Diddy's currently working. He's working in a Life Connections program, which is an 18-month program that helps rehab people and get them closer to spirituality, to charity groups, and with that, it will shorten his sentence. But in this media library, he helps inmates with religious material, rent out movies, that kind of stuff. You see him pushing a
really
cart
interesting
with a TV on it.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the laundry room when he first got there.
Yeah,
this got to be
his first
This got to
assignment.
be a promotion.
Yeah.
It feels like a promotion. It feels like maybe he tried the lunchroom and put in a request for something different.
Yeah, it does
I mean,
believe
he is a
it does
media
sound like
mogul.
he used maybe possibly some connections to get a better job.
No surprise, 50 Cent jumped on this footage the second it hit the internet, roasting Diddy without holding back. According to 50, that grin on Diddy's face isn't about being carefree or lucky, it's because, in his eyes, Diddy is exactly where he wants to be, surrounded by handsome men, living a prison life that, somehow, seems anything but miserable. The way 50 tells it, that smile is the ultimate flex, and fans can't stop debating what it really means.
Probably the biggest troll in the rap game, man.
Oh my gosh,
It's
yes.
Diddy's birthday, November 4th.
Oh, yeah, man.
Today.
Yeah.
It's his birthday.
Yes.
And he happens to put up a post of him, and, you know, there were some pictures released of Diddy on the yard with a couple other prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy to say
Yeah.
prisoners, right?
Yeah.
You know, he had Bad Boy East, Bad Boy West. That's Bad Boy Prison.
But he put up a picture of those pictures, and he said he looked too happy to me with all them handsome men around. Good morning, New York City.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Dude, how does 50 get away with this?
I don't know.
Because we were talking about, man, 50 don't lose any brand deals. He don't lose any endorsements. He can walk in and sell TV shows.
Oh, yes.
You know, he can be in the boardroom and also be petty as hell, too.
Yeah.
Man.
Even when he sat down with us, he kind of explained a little bit about him and Diddy and the beef.
I haven't had issues with Puffy. I don't like him like that. Like, I don't like things that he would do.
Right.
And make me uncomfortable.
So we're speaking on Diddy. We're speaking on Puff.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't have that thing where, we ain't had no thing. I wasn't sending nothing at him, big. If it was on the street side like that, we would be actively doing things to each other. I
still don't understand.
And we wasn't doing that.
I was still trying to figure out, you do a lot.
Yeah, he does a lot.
You do a lot.
And the uncomfortable part was when he was talking to the Breakfast Club. And he was mentioning how Diddy wanted to take him shopping.
He said something fabulous, and he goes, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What is he talking about? That's the kind of stuff that when people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out. No, dude, you take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
Hey, dude, that sounds like something Mariana would say.
Yeah,
that's a nice gesture. Like, nah, you don't.
Crazy.
You don't say I'm going to take you shopping.
What's crazy, it's not the first time any artist has said that about taking him shopping.
Really though?
Yeah, I've heard it from other artists who be like,
about Diddy taking him shopping?
Yeah, Diddy take him shopping.
Damn, I know.
Nobody despises Diddy quite like 50 Cent. Even during Diddy's sentencing, 50 was going all out, reportedly writing letters to the judge, doing everything in his power to make sure Diddy faced the harshest punishment possible, even life behind bars. In those letters, 50 didn't hold back, painting Diddy as extremely dangerous and warning that if he got out, there was a very real chance he'd come after his victims. Every word was meant to make the court see Diddy not just as a mogul, but as a threat, and 50 made it crystal clear he wasn't about to let the man off easy.
50 is writing to the judge, all right? According to the letter, all right, 50 says, "Dear Judge, I've had an ongoing dispute with Puppy for over 20 years. He is very dangerous. Multiple times I have feared for my life. I think you should consider the safety of the general public, Your Honor, before unleashing him upon them. There hasn't been enough time for him to reform or make any adjustments, despite his trying to teach a class in there. As you are already aware, the government has spent the maximum amount of money on deploying federal agencies, which appear to be an army, in 2 locations simultaneously. Later, his son, who's dealing with his own rape allegations, claimed that the feds had hit the wrong house. Anyway, Diddy's only going to return to hiring more male ex-workers and keeping most of the baby oil away from the general public. And babies need it. My Netflix doc on this scandalous subject is coming soon."
Right now, Diddy is facing over 100 civil cases, and the tension is sky high. Because here's the thing. If even one of those cases has enough evidence to trigger a criminal investigation, Diddy could be in serious trouble. As these cases start to unravel, as more victims are validated, a chilling pattern begins to emerge. What initially looked like scattered, isolated allegations slowly turns into a documented history of abuse and coercion, with more witnesses stepping forward every day. The web of claims tightens, and suddenly, the full scale of what Diddy may have been involved in can't be ignored.
Just when we thought we were done hearing about Diddy, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department confirmed that they are investigating Diddy. And they confirmed that they are investigating a claim against Diddy of SA that came from Rihanna's former publicist, Jonathan Hay. Jonathan Hay also recently came out and confirmed that he is a John Doe who filed a lawsuit against Diddy earlier this year. Once you hear the details of why they're investigating Diddy, it's actually pretty crazy to know that the police believe that there is something something here to actually investigate, because the claims against Diddy in this one do sound a little bit crazy. In 2020, Jonathan Hay entered into a recording contract with Biggie's son CJ Wallace. Jonathan co-produced Big Papa House Mix with CJ Wallace, Diddy, and other people from Frank White's team. During this collaboration is where these allegations from Jonathan Hay are coming from. Jonathan Hay claimed that he walked in on Diddy watching adult films and pleasuring himself, and then finishing on Biggie's t-shirt that was around at the time because they were getting ready to enter Biggie's clothing into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Jonathan Hay then claimed that Diddy looked at him, threw the shirt at him, and started laughing and said, "Rest in peace, Biggie." This is where CJ Wallace is going to come into play. Jonathan Hay alleges that CJ Wallace and Willie Mack lured him into a meeting where Diddy would allegedly SA him. Important to note that CJ Wallace did just sue Jonathan Hay earlier last week, claiming that all of the allegations that he made against him were false. He claimed that once he got to this meeting, Diddy was yelling and screaming and ordered everybody else to leave but Jonathan Hay to stay. And then Jonathan Hay would claim that Diddy tried to put it in his mouth. Now, Diddy has denied all of these allegations, saying that they're all false and they're all meritless, and he looks forward to fighting this in court. I will say it is very crazy that the Los Angeles Police Department have launched an investigation into these claims against Diddy to try to figure out what exactly happened.
And here's the kicker. Beating a civil case is actually much trickier than a criminal one. In a civil courtroom, Diddy can't just plead the fifth. He can't hide behind layers of lawyers or dodge questions. He can be forced to testify, forced to hand over documents, and forced to answer accusations head-on. And this is exactly where even the most powerful people stumble. Once he's under oath, every word, every slip, every hesitation becomes a potential trap. A single misstep could unravel everything and send him away for good.
Misty, I wonder what leverage and how this changes those civil claims, because he is facing a mountain of civil claims. It felt like they were coming fast and furious there after he got indicted on the federal charges, the criminal charges. Then the civil deluge of lawsuits started to come out. Does this change the calculation on the civil side at all? Does it help him? What do you think the effect might be?
So certainly, there were so many civil lawsuits, it was hard for us to even keep up. They were filed every single day. There's so many, and they all have different types of civil claims. The claims that were raised by Cassie Ventura, that case has been settled. That case would have been directly impacted by this verdict. Now, the civil standard is much less than a criminal standard, so the cases still go on, but certainly the fact that he is not guilty on many of these charges, that's going to be something the defense and those civil actions are going to raise. They're going to say that this pattern that a lot of these civil lawsuits allege, that there's a pattern of conduct. Well, look at this criminal case. There's been a determination. That being said, it's not binding on any of those. So those continue on.
And the standard is so different.
So much lower. So it's beyond a reasonable doubt in a criminal court, the highest standard under the law. In a civil court, it's what's called preponderance of the evidence, meaning if you believe he engaged in the conduct, 51%. So just over half, then he can be found liable. So it's liable, not guilty. And the result of that is civil damages, meaning money, not liberty, jail time, like a criminal case. But he's still got a lot of legal issues to face. I don't think those civil cases are going anywhere. They're going to move their way through the courts. They've been on pause. But interestingly enough, Laura, you don't have the same Fifth Amendment rights that you do in a criminal case.
The final straw? Diddy no longer controls the story. Footage keeps leaking. 50 Cent's explosive documentary is on the verge of dropping. And worst of all, witnesses who actually saw the freak-off tapes are finally speaking out. Diddy even tried to silence one of them with a $100 million lawsuit and failed spectacularly. Now, that same witness is rumored to be part of 50's documentary, ready to spill everything on camera. And when that happens, there's no turning back. The full story could finally see the light of day.
He said he saw Justin Bieber on this tape and he appeared to be underage during this time. He also saw Usher on these tapes and Usher definitely appeared to be underage. And this one gave me the chills because we've heard that Usher is the one that sent Justin Bieber to Diddy. Courtney Burgess sat down with the Too Strong channel here on YouTube and started naming some of the celebrities that he saw on these tapes.
Were kids involved in these parties that you can verify from looking at the tapes?
If Justin Bieber was older than he's supposed to have been, yes. If Usher was older, well, Usher was definitely young.
Okay.
You understand? His shoulder part was, the blood was all in his bed. You understand? It looked like they came home from a event, a party or something.
Went on to explain how Danny Boy was also in one of these videos with Mary J. Blige and Diddy together. And Danny Boy admitted when he was 15 that Mary J. Blige flew him out to New York and he slept with her while he was underage.
Mary J.
Danny Boy, okay.
You know what Danny Boy is?
I heard that before. I don't, I've been so far away from hip hop, I forgot, but I have heard that name, Danny Boy.
Danny Boy back then, he looked like he was about 16. They both was about.
He also claimed that Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son, were in these videos, and he also said that there was photographs and videos of Diddy eating off of young girls.
Pictures or images of any of this stuff?
Yeah, I got Justin Bieber, Will Smith's son, just whatever his name is. Other females on the table, they like they was young. He was eating off them. A lot of entertainments. And then I got calls from certain of them wanting to get the tape out of my hand. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Meanwhile, Jay-Z is laying low, staying silent, and avoiding every camera he can. And honestly, who can blame him? The last thing he wants is for his name to pop up in 50 Cent's explosive documentary next week. So here's the question everyone's asking. Is Jay-Z guilty by association or guilty by involvement? Was he just turning a blind eye, or was he actively part of Diddy's hidden world all along? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This one's about to get even messier.